Hi, everyone. This is Key. I have a great friend of mine with me, Sheryll White. And Sheryl and I have been collaborating. We had a great collaboration at the beginning of the year. Well, towards the end of last year and this year, 16 weeks of working with talented people. And of course, building their confidence, helping them be the best they can be, because that's what they want. They want to help people. But Sheryl, the bane of existence of this business is the fear of rejection, the fear of somebody slamming the door on you or saying no to you in a mean way, and it just hurts. I know you have experience with that, with your agents, with people you coach. Let's define it. Where does it come up? Where does this fear of rejection come up?
Right. Uh, I think that when people get into this business and they've come from a variety of backgrounds, different jobs, different areas, and you get into this business, you're probably really, really skilled in one or two of the areas that we work in. Wouldn't you agree?
I would.
But suddenly you're running your own business, and initially you got to do those one and two things, but suddenly there's three, four, or five other steps that are added into your job that we do, our career, that we've never done before. And so suddenly you get to that wall and you have that look in your eye of, holy cow, I don't know. I don't want to do, what's going to happen? I have no point of reference, right? Have no emotional connection to when I call somebody and just say, hey, did you know I'm in real estate? How they're going to react back to me. So I'm fearful of making those phone calls, right?
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I think it's natural because you're stepping outside your comfort zone.
Yes.
It's much easier to sit in your office and make people call in you and say, hey, Sheryl, you're in real estate. Can you help me? We want
Right.
that. All of us want that.
Right.
But to pick up the phone and let somebody else know and they go click, ooh. Ugh. So there's nothing wrong with you if you're feeling that way. But is it possible that that no is not about them?
Oh, I love when you say that. So, I mean, nobody wants to be rejected. I never want to be. I want everybody to say, "Hey, you're the one. Everybody wants that, right?" But what I've learned and what people don't know is no doesn't mean no in our business. No means not now. But I don't have any reference to believe when I say to you, brand new agent, midterm, it doesn't mean no, it just means not now. They feel the rejection, like you're feeling that little sink of, oh, I tried so hard, or I didn't try enough, or I'm afraid to try, right?
And they amplify it and they make it
Oh, yeah.
worse. It becomes that monster under the bed.
Yes.
Oh, there's a monster under the bed. I got to stay under the covers. But the reality is, not only is it not now, only 5 to 8% of people who owns homes will sell their home a year. Only 5. That means the other people are not moving. So sometimes they're saying no because they're not moving. And
Right.
guess what? They love where they live. And your job is to validate them, let them know, oh, I understand. You don't have a need for a realtor right now.
Right.
It's not a no towards you. It's a statistical no. It's a predictable no.
Right.
And now you have been doing this a while and you coach and you train your agents consistently. How do we overcome this? How do we overcome this demon and making it larger and go, no, 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 no. Let me scale you back to a normal size.
I think you started the conversation right there. Is that if doing a task in our profession is creating that panic, anxiety of fear, we got to take this big energy bubble and we have to definitely start with it back here. How do you eat the elephant? One little bite at a time. So if I'm going to accomplish this task that's creating this energy bubble, we need to coach you. We need to help you learn that it's just a little bit of step to create the confidence so the energy bubble's smaller, right? So just taking the little task one by one. Sometimes we have to start with, here are words. It's called a script. No one wants a script, but here's some words to say. and make these words sound like you. You agree with that.
Right.
And let's talk about it. Me and you, let's practice. So I'm going to build your confidence with little teeny steps that we build upon. So first, we're going to get a script, step one. Second, you're going to make it sound like how you talk. I say words differently than you. I like to have a little more, well, you're this way too. I like to have a little more humor and happiness in my script. I don't like to sound like a robot. And then we're going to take it to the step three, where you and I are going to practice it. So we're trying to build your confidence by here's what you say, here's how you say it. Let's say it together. Let's practice with a friend. Let's pick up the phone. Let's call your favorite person in the world. How did that go? What do we need to refine? And we need to repeat it and repeat it. And the more that you do it, the easier it becomes, and the more that fearfulness goes away. And in our job, it's a job of repetition, doing a bunch of steps over and over and over. So we have that one handled. And that's how you're building your confidence, so that when somebody says, no, I don't want to talk to you right now, you're like, no problem. I'll check in with you later. And you hang up the phone, right?
That's right. So that means you've taken that monster and you scaled it through preparation,
Yep.
mastery of script, which is really music. A script is really music. You got to learn how to deliver that music and being authentic, being yourself, and realizing when you scale it down and you build your script delivery and you practice them, repetition is your friend. Repetition will always be your friend. First time you played baseball, you probably threw the ball and it went somewhere you had no idea where it went. And then the coach told you, hold it this way, try it that way, do it again. All of a sudden you felt good about yourself. Like, ooh, I came close. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Repetition is your friend. That's why we call scaling the monster through habits, through repetition, through mindset, and realizing we're in the business of serving people. We're not manipulating people. We're not selling anything. We're listening. We are here for a fiduciary to our clients. And you do it very well, Sheryll. I've seen you coach your agents on this, and you demystify it. You don't make it a boogeyman like, oh, you have to be born this way. No, it's a skill. You just learn the skill and you get better. So over the years, and you have years of experience in this, what have you learned about this phenomenon, this thing called the fear of rejection, and realizing I just need to scale it down?
Right. I don't think we've mentioned it, but I know you and I have talked about it. At some point early on in my career, somebody told me the little acronym FEAR means false evidence appearing real. Like what you think is going to happen, you believe it's going to happen, so you don't do it because it's true. But that isn't the truth, right? So what I've learned over the years is how to get rid of that false evidence appearing real. So one of my, I have lots of experiences and I have lots of failures. I don't want you guys to think that everything has always been rosy and peachy. There's been many times that I've failed. And when I have self-evaluated, which is part of our learning experience, you're like, okay, now that was completely silly. Shouldn't have done that. But what people may not know about me, I want to just give you kind of a personal reference about how false evidence appears real, is that although I do not look very athletic and I don't like a lot of sports, I was a very, very competitive gymnast in my younger years. So one of the things I think that you can all visualize is on a balance beam. So it's a little 4-inch piece of wood that's 4 or 5 feet up in the air. And one of the things that I could do at that time, all those years ago, was a walkover with no hands. So it's a flip on that little 4-inch beam with no hands, right? So if I put any of you up there right now, where you are in your world, put you on that 4-inch beam, and I said, I want you to flip over and do an aerial walkover and land on your feet, you would be like, no, I am too fearful. I'm not ready to do this, right? But I was like that too at the beginning. But there's a way to make that fear go away. And that fear is to take that big elephant and bring that big energy bubble down and do it one little step at a time. So you start on the floor and you start with your hands, and then you start on a little piece of tape, and then you move up to a little teeny bit balance beam that's this far off the ground, and you do that with your hands. And then as time goes on, you're doing it without hands, and then you're moving up. That is, and eventually you do the little trick and you stand up and everybody claps, right? That is the same thing in real estate. You're doing things that you aren't skilled and trained for yet, and it makes that panic of anxiety and fear. The first thing you think of is fear. So I have learned that whatever is your roadblock that's creating that sensation, we need to break that little step down and do it one by one repetitively until you have the confidence to move to the little balance beam. And then we work on the little balance beam, then we move up to the big balance beam. And eventually you have no fear and you complete your task, right? So I hope that gives somebody kind of a sense of understanding. When you feel that feeling, that emotional fear, it's false. You think it's real. No one's coming at you with a knife. I have to say that. That would be definitely fear. Someone's coming at me with a knife. That's real. But most of those feelings, that you're not going to get hurt. If somebody even slams a door in your face, that you don't get hurt. Someone slams the phone down. That isn't going to hurt you. You need to take those little training steps so that you have the confidence to understand, oh, they slammed the phone on me. Goodbye. Let's see who's next. Who do I get to talk to? Who's my relationship going to grow with now?
Right. And the reality is you're describing action to overcome fear. You're saying, however small the action is, take the action. Action with repetition builds confidence. And that's really the essence of this fear that we build. You either choose to make it bigger, so you have an excuse for not doing what you're supposed to do, or realize, wait a second, I can build my confidence. I'm not going to be determined by it, and I'm going to be the best person because I'm going to be helping people. I'm doing real estate not just for the money, because I'm a fiduciary. I'm somebody who's going to be helping people. I really love that story. I did not know that about gymnastics. That would have been like, ooh, that's news to me.
Don't ask me to do it now. Although my mind still thinks I can do it now from all the visualization. But Key, you said a really great word about fear. You can choose to let it be there, or you can choose to overcome it by doing those little tasks. Like, what a gift that we have inside of us to choose to make it work positive, right?
We do. And this is why I'm talking to my friend Sheryll. And we are glad that some of you will choose to watch it. And we want you to have a great 2026.
Absolutely. Anything we can do for you, we would love to help you. Thank you.